Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are new, please don't forget to subscribe, like and share the video. So this video today is a continuation. Firstly, my name is Oyama Mdleleni. I'm with my husband, Develop Mdleleni. So this is part 2 of the series that we last did of our love journey. Yeah, we ended still in the beginning of our love journey. So in continuation then from today, we'll talk about, we're going to start, let's talk about, in the last video you mentioned that then everything went very fast. Everything went very fast, but I think then we can talk about that up to the point now of us getting married. Then also I want us to also to touch in terms of, did we, if we ever spoke or addressed some of the issues in terms of what were our expectations from one another and from the marriage. And yeah, but we'll things, we'll see what we talk about as we go deeper and dig in. So 6 months now within our relationship, boom, we're pregnant. 6 months, boom. Can you remember the night? Can you remember the night we conceived?
Well, I do, but I don't think I want to share that here. But
no, of course you're not going to share the details of how the people was conceived, but
no, I do.
the environment was. Because I'm saying this because remember, I was sharing with you on the night my story, my trauma as a young child of being raped, and you were so empathetic. I didn't even finish the story, but you were so empathetic. Then one thing led to another. It was, I even remember the day. It was the following day you were going to go home for holidays. It was in December of 2003. Because we did mention last time that we met in June. Started dating immediately. I don't know, maybe a couple of weeks after we had met. Then December, boom, we're pregnant. So it was then. It was on the 5th of December, because on the 6th you were leaving. We were going home for holidays.
Yeah,
Since we were working in Cape Town and staying in originally from the Eastern Cape.
yeah. So I won't remember the actual date. That's for you to remember.
I remember. I remember because you were gonna go home. That's why the dates to me, I can recall. So we found out. We didn't know immediately. We didn't use any condom on the day. No condom. I think. Yeah. So we found out that we were pregnant. I think it was in either Feb or March. I must have been 2 or 3 months pregnant. So I was like feeling nausea, and then I didn't take a home test. I went to a doctor. Remember? I went to a doctor. Then I was told I'm pregnant. I told you immediately. Then we kept it to ourselves for some time until my mother found out. I didn't tell her. She just found out because it was still early and the time was not even that big. I was not big. Then she suspected because we were just sitting on the day that day, just talking. I can't remember what we were talking about. Then she just said, "We're pregnant when?" And I was like, "Wow, pregnant, me." And boom, yes, I was pregnant. Then she said, you must inform your father because she knew about you. She knew that we were dating.
No, wait. Yeah, she phoned me.
Okay.
Yeah, she phoned me, and yeah, she wasn't very pleasant on the phone. It was a very short discussion, actually. Yeah, very short. I think the phone call took literally less than a minute.
What did she say?
Yeah,
That was so not pleasant.
No, it was a case of saying, "Hey, wena, you umenze umntamo wena." And I was like, "Okay, mama, yeah. So, yeah, you need to, you know what to do."
That's what she said.
And I was like, "Okay, that was it."
Then you called dad, your father, you informed him.
Yeah, of course. I've not immediately. I had to think, how do I put it?
How are we going to address this?
Yeah, because I mean, my father is a very strict somebody, and he's strict, but also very kind of
open-minded also.
Open-minded,
and he would like for things to be done the correct way. Yeah, I think it's coming from that premise that things must follow in accordance.
Yeah, but I think it's more of a person that actually says, "You've done this. I'm here to support." But what do you think? You need to account. You know, what do you think? What do you want to do about your own problem? So he's that kind of a person that would say, "Okay, you've told me this, so ucimba ukuthi wena ngale nto yakho."
Yes. Since you are the doer or the person.
Yeah. So he would actually put you on the spot to say when ucinga ntoni, and will actually remind you.
So the solution must come from you.
Not necessarily come from you, but he needs to get your viewpoint. He needs to get your viewpoint and fix that viewpoint if it's not aligned to his values. The values that he's teaching. He has instilled in him. So he will listen to your viewpoint and say, I mean, you can go to him and say, "No, I don't want this. But if it's still, if that don't want is iphikisana ne-values that is instilling, then you would say, no. Remember, if you don't do 1, 2, 3, it will hit you here. If you don't do 1, 2, 3, it will hit you here. I think you should do 1, 2, 3. Okay. He's not autocratic, but I had to think what I needed to say to this guy, and I was like, it's gonna be a tough talk. Yeah, indeed it was, because my father was like, okay.
Was he disappointed?
No, not disappointed. He was expecting it to happen because of my age. I mean, at the time I was 27, and I think for the benefit of other people, I've got a 16-year-old as well.
Turning 17 next week.
So
and I was 21 at the time.
Yeah. So I expect anything from that boy.
From him.
Yeah.
The age now.
Because the age, and he can actually come and say, "Flip, this has happened." So I think also from where I come from, well, I don't know if I told you this. From where I come from, if a boy impregnates a girl.
Impregnates a girl. Mhm.
It's as a father
Of the boy.
of the boy, you will be proud, but silently proud. Inside, you are like saying, yeah. But also that depends. That pride comes with age. How old is the boy? I mean, I will be disappointed if my boy is at 16 because that actually messes up his life, his life going forward. But I mean, at a certain age, you would expect certain things and you would be silently proud and say, okay, yeah, now I think there must be this boy.
And especially when he's taking responsibility, I think.
No, even that, because Galo, remember, if you grow up, when you grow up, or when you're raising children, you don't immediately see whether this person will be responsible or not.
The path.
Yeah. So it comes as a surprise. It can be a semi-disappointment to say, hey, it disappointed me. But deep down, you say, but if I look at his age, it's the right age. Okay. It's
and now also when you look around at other boys and girls,
his age,
the age that they also impregnate, or the girls that they fall pregnant. So 27 was like
it was
an age that you think
it was an acceptable age.
Yeah.
At the time I was working already.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, okay, but what are you gonna do with this thing? This is yours.
So what did you say to him then?
No, so I told him, look, there is some sort of a feeling to say, I don't want to mess up my life by going around having choice assorted of children, you know. So it was a case of, he said, okay, so what are you telling me? You've got Jongo. No, of course I do. But for that particular part, I'm not ready now.
Not now. It's not gonna happen now.
But let's see and
address this one first.
Let's see if how can we address this. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. Sorry.
So
I spoke too much.
I know you.
Yeah.
Then you paid then you discussed the issue of paying the damages. Now.
Yeah, paying for damages.
For damages.
Yeah, so we had to go that route.
Yeah.
And obviously, because I told him my intention, it was a case of saying, okay, let me go and do this so that because these things, zelobola and all those things, zihambiselana nokubana you need to be upfront, okanye maybe a better way of putting it ngesixhosa is funeka ubahambele phambili, uyabo, if unenjongo ubahambele phambili and be clear with your intentions eventually, so that it's not a case of you lose what you intended to do. Yeah. So my talk with him was to say, look, let's do this first. Quickly we will see how I progress, because it was full mark.
Of course, they need to be planned and budgeted for. So okay, then fast forward. Then you did pay for the damages.
Yeah.
To my mother. So that part then was addressed, was amicably resolved. So then now we continued. Now we had the baby, which was a boy, and at the time I'm still at school. I'm doing my third year. I'm still at university. Then now, remember, I was not coping with balancing the school and the child, because the child was living with me, and you were living also on your by yourself somewhere else. Then you suggested to me that we take the child to your parents. Or yeah, because we then went home to your home. He was 8 months at the time when we first went, because they had never seen him before until I think he was 8 months old. Then we went. We stayed there. I think it was not holidays, no? It was just during the year. I can't remember. Was it not December or something? But there's a time I think we went. There was a celebration going. 21st birthday.
No, was it not?
Or that was it the second time we went?
No, was it not I think.
I can't remember. I remember I was wearing pants, because we were not married at the time. When they came and fetched us at the airport, Mama and Dad, I was wearing a tracksuit. I was wearing a tracksuit. So because we were not married and we didn't discuss this, that maybe I must wear a dress or a skirt. So it didn't seem to bother you, and they also didn't seem to be bothered by it also.
Yeah, it was a case of there was an understanding to say there's no expectation.
This is just like this is a girlfriend.
This is a girlfriend. Anything can happen.
They can break up anytime.
Yeah, so
and they can't put you in a position now where they treat me like a makotin, which you haven't.
I haven't
decided.
I haven't said.
You haven't
said. Look,
put clear intentions. Your intentions.
Yeah, as much as by the back of my mind, the intentions were there, but obviously you need to.
Yeah. So I was very pissed. Then there was a celebration, because I remember during the Tupac now was helping with the dishing out of the food. I think I was done Itanga. So mom, we were land up as because yes, she's traditional. So things she would she would like things to be done, even though your parents are quite open minded. They understand. They are with the times now, but at the same time, the environment and the people that were around were also looking in and looking at what was happening. So she came and took, and like she came to me like, then we just moved away from that area, which I was not offended. There was nothing. To me it was a matter of I'm helping out and not thinking of, and anyway, I grew up in a township. You grew up in a, call it what, village?
No, it's like
what in English?
Yeah, it's a
village.
Rural village.
Village, yes. So
where in Anziga the traditional protocols are still quite upheld.
Yeah. So you can now understand the different backgrounds that we came from. Someone who comes from the townships and someone who comes from the rural village. The upbringing is not the same in most cases. So, but I never felt like I was when we would go and visit your parents. I never felt awkward or anything. Then the child started living with your parents when he was 1 year old, and was now I was struggling. I couldn't balance. I I was not, I couldn't focus on my studies because I have this child, and the baby at the time, he only wanted breast milk. He did not want the bottle. So it was getting difficult. Then you made the suggestion. Your parents agreed. I'm not sure how that conversation went between you and them when you brought this up in terms of bringing the child to them. We never spoke about it before, but I just assumed that they love the child like their own, and it was like the last born of the family. So the child stayed there. Then we and would come and visit every holidays.
Yeah, maybe if for clarity as well, the conversation was very simple because it was more of seeing the reasoning behind having of doing this thing, because it's a case of my parents love progress in terms of academic progress and people. So when I said to them, look, she's still at varsity, and she's not coping, and I think part of me taking this responsibility required, because I can't stay with a child a 1 year old.
You have to work.
I have to work. So how about this child comes and stays with you, and my parents were very open to that, to say, look, because we've seen the child, we've got no doubt that is your child, and Nati, we would like to help where we can, bring the child. Let's see. I mean, I remember my mother even, look, he was serious when he said this, but and I thought, you must be joking, because he was like, because my son, who's now 16, didn't like the bottle milk.
Yes.
He wanted the breast milk. And my mother was like, hey, I don't understand. Why would this child not want the bottle milk? I mean, this child, maybe what I should do is that I must breastfeed him. And I said, but there's no milk in you. But he said, no. She said, no. The milk will eventually come out. And I was like, okay. But Mama, this sounds a little bit awkward, because there's some dodginess here, but it doesn't sound right. Let's see how best can we get this child to, because I mean, my mom was even concerned. She's even still concerned even now, the fact that my boy doesn't eat amasi, mass and sour milk and all. And I'm like, okay, but it's fine, it's his choice. But you can see the worry in her eyes to say, how do you get all the nutrients in if you don't eat this kind of stuff, So yeah, it was one of those things. But I think,
So on my end now, I was also faced with a situation that my mother was like, I had given away the child, of which, yes, she was trying to be supportive now of having me now with this child, but at the same time, her husband was also sick at the time. Remember, he started to get sick, and he eventually passed on. So she said, I'm giving the child away. And I was like, also now, but internally, I was like, but you did the same with me. You left me with my paternal family. But I didn't raise that with her. I just felt like we did what we thought was best for the child. and for also my progress in terms of being able now to complete my studies. Yeah. So then now, did we ever speak about our expectations? Then we okay, we got you moved to Gauteng. You got a job this side in 2006. The child was still with mama or dad. The child must have been 3 or 4 years at the time. Then you moved, you got a job this side in Gauteng. Then you suggested to me, remind me, you made a suggestion that, okay, when you complete your studies, because that year I was going to graduate, then you said, when you complete your studies, you can come. Did you suggest like that, or did I offer myself?
No, you didn't. You didn't want to come to Gauteng.
No, but I was not.
You just shut me out and you said, no, Gauteng, I'll never come. And I had to dig deep to actually get you convinced. I think at the time there were a lot of things in your mind, maybe. If I come to think of it now, in terms of this guy is gonna get there and be like a different person. What am I going to do? I don't know anyone in Gauteng and so on.
Yeah,
so,
those were my fears, yeah.
He keeps on telling me about his sister, Otlale Gauteng, and
sisters, cousins, friends,
and everybody. And for me, it was more of actually trying to say, well, I've got intentions here. So rather come so that my intentions can be easily,
implemented now.
Not necessarily implemented, but you can also see the intentions,
the
seriousness of what I want done, in terms of the union that I wanted done. So I was getting a little bit disappointed to say, hey, how am I going to convince this person? But eventually you agreed to come after you wrote your exams, and
so now in the next part we're going to talk about the transition now of relocating from both of us, because I came this side, I think it was 2 months after, because you came in August, I came in November. So it was 2 or 3 months, then the time difference. So we'll speak about the transition, and if we did fat and set, and or what happened in that process, about the journey. So, and also if we did sit down and spoke also about our expectations and what we wanted out of the union, and the ups and the downs. So we'll break that down in our next video. So we'll end here for today.
Okay, don't be too serious, make it a little bit a little bit light.
Is there anything more you want to say?
No, nothing I want to say, guys. I will see you next time.
Bye.
No, I'm good.
You are the one who's serious now. Bye. Bye, everyone.